Hi Tubies, here's Alexandra again with my continuous work on my own role-playing design, and I have come up with some ideas for some questions you had and some additional stuff. So let's start. We have one question had how to determine the hit points, the starting hit points for your character, and I said now we have here an endurance for your character. It is a combination out of dexterity, strength, and constitution. For example, this character here would have 7 in total, and this will be the starting hit points determined with 7 times a d6 for the HP starting volume. So then the question was how many starting points for generic skills would there be? I would say starting points for generic skills are equal to your intelligence points plus your attention points. That would make sense to me to determine how intelligent and determined your character is to learn new skills. So that's so much changed for this page here for your character sheet, and now we come on with the weapon strength. I have thought long about it, how to determine the strength of a weapon and how to determine the damage that you make with a weapon. So I would say the damage a weapon does generally is determined just by a dice. So for example, a dagger is a slashing weapon with a d4 as a damage dice. A general sword, longsword, bastard sword, something like that would be in d8. Same for an axe or a mace. Slash blunt. A two-handed hammer instead would have had a d10 blunt. A whip, for example, a d4 blunt. A two-hand axe, d12 slash damage. A short sword, d6 slash. And then, for example, 3 different range weapons: a longbow, d6 piercing, shortbow, d4 piercing, and a crossbow, d8 piercing. And you see here, the strength itself for the weapon is determined by your own strength or dexterity value for your weapon. So, for example, for range weapons, also maybe a flying dagger or something like that, that would be then a d4 dexterity, or throwing axe would be d8 dexterity, not strength. And then, for example, let's see our character here would have had a strength of 2, and then when you maybe hit something with your sword, you make 2 d8 slashing damage. d8 for the weapon, and then the strength, the number for your dice. I think that's a quite nice system, and determines how powerful a character is strength-wise. When you're not that powerful in your strength, and your blunt attacks and your piercing and slashing attacks are not that high, but your dexterity is high, maybe a range weapon would be better. For example, here we have this character. He is very dexterous, with 4 points in dexterity. For example, with a longbow, he would then make 4d6 piercing damage, or with a shortbow, 4d4 piercing damage, and so on. I hope this is an interesting system. I would like to hear your ideas on that matter. And then we will go on now with the armor. The armor for normal general RPGs is you just add the armor, and then maybe your initiative goes down, but anything else is kind of undetermined normally in a fantasy setting. But I thought, what would an armor actually do to your character? It would hinder your movement, or maybe give you the freedom of movement. So if you have normal clothing on, light armor, for example, mage robes or something like that, you would have no damage reduction whatsoever. So if someone hits you with a sword, it would go right through you, obviously. But your body resistance, your the amount that somebody needs to hit you here, would get a bonus of +5. So that would give a thief or something like that, or some character that is highly dexterous, some advantage in the armor, in that form that he is less likely to be hit instead of the armor itself. So then we have the medium armor. There we start with a damage reduction. I would say a general armor for medium armor would be 10. You can obviously modify this with magic items or something like that, or better crafted medium armors. But generally I would say 10 is a good starting point. And then the body resistance would be ±0. So you wouldn't get any bonus or modifiers to your armor, to your body resistance. Instead, then we have heavy armor, plate mails, heavy chainmail, and something like that is really hindering your movement. So you're less likely to evade any attacks, any incoming attacks, but the attacks that impact you are fairly neglectable. So here we have a damage reduction of generally 20, but we have a body resistance of -5. So our character here with a body resistance of 5 would be totally helpless against attacks. So the enemies would almost immediately hit you. So that's my ideas on the armor class. I hope you like this. And now, last but not least, I have worked on critical strikes. So we have our system here in place that you roll a d20 for your general skills plus your proficiency level. For example, if you strike with a sword, here you get a proficiency level of a d12 plus a d4. So you roll a d20, d12, d4. And then here, if the attack roll exceeds the body resist over the amount of the body resist itself, you get an additional damage roll. For example, if player A hits monster B with body resistant, which body resist is 5, with an 11, he would roll 2 times his damage. If he would roll a 15, or up to 19, he would roll 3 times his damage, and so on. I hope this makes sense. So this is the way of critical strikes in this system. Yeah, and that's what I have come up with until today. I hope you like this. I would love to hear your further input, and also we need a name for this role-playing game. So please help me with a name. I have no idea how we should call this game, but yeah. Also, I've worked a little bit on the story background for this game. So I've marched my head with the idea, why is a player character so powerful instead of a normal human being with a with the skill system and so on. And my idea was that the world itself is well, the battleground between heaven and hell. So the hell spawns can't really manifest themselves in the real world, but they can possess animals and people and something like that, and modify them. So all the monsters in this world are then horrific, transformed monsters of normal creatures. So for example, giant spiders, or horrifically transformed pigs or cows or other animals that are modified to the needs of a demon or an otherworldly being to make serious threats. And the heavenly armies, they also can't really interact with the world, but they can also sometimes possess a human, and then they can have an offspring, and this offspring is then one of the player characters, like for example in Diablo, the Nephilim. I would also have to come up with a nice name for them. Let's call them for now a Nephilim. And the player character has an generic ability to be powerful, but to ignite this this spark of power, he must get a near-death experience or a very traumatic experience that would trigger this innate power. And then your player character is born in this way, reunited with a power within them, and then they can travel the world and fight the demons that possess the world. Okay, that's my intake for my role-playing game this far. I hope you like this. I love to hear your thoughts on this, and hopefully you can now start to playtest this with your D&D group. Feel free to input everything from the normal D&D stuff that you see fit, and I would love to hear your feedback. Until then, you're Alexandra.